Hi, I'm Kathy Lincoln. I am coming from Artistic Artifacts today, and we are going to play with this wonderful new machine. It's not that new, but it's new enough. It is the L890. It is the serger to beat all other sergers. And this is the project that I am going to show you. This is called Tic-Tac-Toe on the Go. And it is a board game that you make it so that it will fold up. It is two-sided. Here's the pretty side. That's the outside. And then this is the playing side. And then you make your pieces two-sided. It is on the We Also blog, and it's in two parts. The first part is the playing pieces, and the second part is the actual board. Now you get to play with thread with this too. You'll notice here on the playing board we have used 3-thread narrow cover stitch, and we have used the chain stitch, but we have used them with a 12-weight thread. I used spaghetti. It is this wonderful very nice heavyweight thread, and it comes in all kinds of wonderful colors, and you get to just play. Now the pieces I used, the specialty thread here I used was the soft lock on both sides in both loopers, and I made them contrasting to the playing pieces so that they would stand out. Now to make these playing pieces, and you want to make sure that your circle is as circular as possible, you have to use some tools. And the compass is a great tool. What you do is you set it to the radius of your circle. These are 5-inch circles. Now a lot of compasses will have a piece where you can put in something else besides the lead. This is a really nice one, and so it doesn't do that. So what I have done is that the fusible fleece is fused to my solid fabric. I traced it on the fusible fleece. Then I pinned the other fabric to it. In the instructions they tell you to make the circles twice as many times. Well, you don't have to do that. Let's make it easy on ourselves. So we're going to cut this all at the same time. So I'm cutting both the top and the bottom at the same time. That's half the cutting. And you'll notice that I have my pins in the center. That way I do not have to remove them. I'm not going to accidentally cut them. And let's see, get that there. Let's cut another one. That way you have, it makes it just so much easier. You know that they're going to be exactly the same. And then when you go to work on your machine, it will come out beautifully. Don't throw these scraps away. You can use them for testing, because you always should do a test run. Okay. So I have two. And before we get to actually making the pieces, I want to talk about this machine and the feet we're going to be using today. Today, we are going to be using the number C23. And you'll notice that, and the pattern has you use the C27 and the regular C13. You'll notice that the curved foot is smaller. It's shorter in the back, because this is, you can see where the pin lines up. It's shorter in the back and it's shorter in the front. That makes it easier to go around the curves. And the C27 is just like the C11, but you can see where you're going. And in this project, seeing where you're going is very helpful.
Quick question.
Yes.
Could you cut those pieces with a cutting machine?
You could if you own one. I don't, so I didn't. But yes, if you had one, yes, you could.
That was from Kathy Edwards. It seems like she has one.
Yes. If you have, I have a lot of tools, but that's one I don't have. I don't think I have room for it. But anyhow, this is the alternative. So let's set up our machine, because there's a few things you have to do to your machine to get it where you need it to be. I am going to be using a 3-thread balanced overlock stitch. And I'm going to be using my C23. And it just snaps in. There we go. Now, I have made a mark here. This is where the knife is at the default of 6, the setting 6. When we actually go to do this, we're going to drop that knife. And there is a thing you can do if you find that this is too hard to see, there's too many reflections. You can go to your machine, you can go to your settings, and this is probably the only time I've ever done this. I turned off my light. I will turn it back on for the filming, but it does mean that you can actually see these markings better. Okay, let me turn the light back on because otherwise Kyle won't be able to see what I'm doing. But that's an alternative. Also, when you're going around curves, you may want to slow your machine down. Now, you have control with your foot pedal, but you can also adjust your speed down so that you have more control. You are also going to want to change your stitch length. You're going to want to make it shorter. About a 1.2 is what I was working with. And you're going to want to have your needle set down. Because when you stop, you want to make sure that nothing's going to shift on you. So let's thread our machine. Now we have an air threader. I'm going to turn on the air threader. And I am using the soft lock in both loopers. Sometimes the soft lock does not want to go into the looper. So we are going to use what's called a thread cradle. Okay, let's get it. Make sure my foot is up. Snap that in. Make sure I have a lot there. Now, a thread cradle is literally just a long piece of thread folded in half. And you have to make sure you hang on to the end that has the loop, because if you don't, it will go all the way through and you won't have a cradle. There we go. Up, and that's the wrong one. Let's start over again. I put it in the lower looper and I meant to go in the upper looper. There we go. That's better. So now I have my loop. Can you see the loop? And I'm just going to put my thread in it. Make sure it's not tangled. And I'm just going to pull it through. And put it underneath the foot. Now I'm going to do that with the lower looper. Okay, let's get that pulled out there and get my soft lock. I'm going to put my soft lock through the loop. and then give my cradle a pull, and it's through. So sometimes with these decorative threads you might have an issue. The threader usually works, the air threader usually works very well. When I was doing the spaghetti, it went flying right through. I didn't need a thread cradle. But this soft lock is not necessarily a thread, it's more of a fiber. Because what it does is it fills in and it makes that edge full. And you can see here that it fills in and it is very, very thick there. So it's not really a thread, it's more of a fiber. And sometimes that fiber means it doesn't want to necessarily go and do what you want it to do. Make sure my threads are underneath there. You turn off the threader. I have to make sure it's set on overlock. Now I have a scrap here that I'm going to do a test run to make sure that my stitch is truly balanced. That looks pretty good. I need to change my pressure on my foot to 1. The instructions suggest 2, but I found during my practice and making these pieces that 1 actually worked better. So that's both sides. And that's a nice balance. So now I'm ready to actually work on the circles. To do that, I am going to, let me raise up my needle, pull my threads out here. Make sure I got everything loose. Okay. I have changed my pressure. I have my stitch length. I have needle down. I'm now going to drop the knife, moving the knife out of the way. I am not actually going to cut. This marking here is where the knife would be. So that way, let me see if this will, you can see it better this way. This marking here is going to, that's as if I had the knife up. And so I'm going to use that as a guide. So let me grab. I have to turn these over. And put this on the top, and I'm going to pin it in the middle to hold it together, and then I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to make sure that my needle, let me get my stylus here, my needle is going to go into the fabric. I don't want to start off the edge, I want to start in the fabric. And then you have to make sure your foot is down. And then you're going to go slow, which for me is I must tell you, is hard. And every once in a while, you're going to use your knee lift to move it. And you're just going to keep on going all the way around. And you're going to want to make sure that your threads are not caught. Get that back out of the way. And I'm not pushing or pulling, I'm only guiding. I'm getting close to back to where I started. I am going to cut these threads and get them out of the way, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to then, when I come around, I am then going to stitch on this about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch over it, and that will secure it. Then I'm going to use my smart petal to raise up the needle. I'm going to raise up the foot. I'm going to use my locking tool to grab the needle thread. Cut it. And then I can pull this out and cut it. And now the piece is finished except for burying the threads. So to do that, you have multiple options. And I keep mine all together. There we go. You have the little hooky, which I tend to use when I'm only working with regular threads, because the fiber, the soft lock, tends to fray. You also can use a very large-eyed needle, or you can use a double-eyed needle. Then what you do is you take your threads, make sure that they're all the same length, and then you just slip them through and cut. And that one is now done. I can take the pins out of it, and it's ready to go on the board. Oops, I got loose threads everywhere. So let me make sure. The one thing I forgot to bring over to the table here was the Big Book of Serging. It is a really wonderful reference. There's all kinds of information that will give you a way of doing it. Thank you. This is like the Bible of serging. It is wonderful. And I believe it's buy one, get one 50% off this month. So if you wanted this book and another one, you would get a really good deal. There's a lot of the big books, and they are wonderful. Okay. I have another one I can repeat if anyone would like me to see it, again. Are there any questions?
Not a lot of questions. It's a little quiet today. What, did nobody have their coffee? Am I the only one? Got some great good mornings though. Stitches and Quilts is with us. Like you would miss this, Chris. Hello, June. Got some local people. Ginny, thank you for tuning in. Susan. Alright. Oh, some people from Fairfax. Judy Bell wants to know, does the foot work on the 460?
No. There is a foot that is for the L850 and L860. It is the L23. but I don't believe that works on the L460.
Let's see here. Susan Langsdorff, is the Big Book of Serging applicable to any serger or just Bernina?
No, it's applicable to basically all sergers, because even if your settings are going to be slightly different, the technique basics are going to be the same. So if you own a different serger, the book will still give you a lot of good information. How to put zippers in, how to do various different kinds of construction, how to use the flat lock, how to use the rolled hem in different ways. There's all kinds of other information in there, blind hemming, all kinds of stuff.
Okay. There's no cover stitch on here, right?
This does both. This is a cover and chain.
Oh, it does both. Oh,
This
okay.
does both. This is a combo machine. The L850 and L860 are not.
Okay.
On the board, that's where you use the cover and the chain stitch on the playing mat, the playing board. That you would have to figure out another way of doing something, maybe using your regular sewing machine if you did not have a combination machine.
Okay, thank you. Carmen, as far as the project, did you want to see the finished product or did you want to see the demonstration again? And then we've got...
Well, I can do another circle if they want to see it going around again. Or we can take a look at the board.
Okay. Were you going to demonstrate the board?
I can. Well, it's already been basically demonstrated.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
I made 2 of these, one for each grandson for Christmas, because they're the age now where they could start playing these kinds of games, and it'd be a fun game to play with them. And I might actually be able to win, which might not be good for them, but they need to learn to lose periodically.
We've got a request to see the board again, so
Okay.
we'll walk over here. As far as the foot goes, what feet were we using again today?
I used the C23, but to make the board, I used the C27, the C23, and the C13. The C13 comes with the machine. And if you want me to flip the board over, I can.
Uh-huh.
So this, I can point out, this is the narrow 3-thread cover stitch on either side. This is the chain stitch. And this is the heavier 12-weight spaghetti thread.
Would you mind flipping that over for us?
Yeah.
Please?
Now these are circles. I did this on the compass, using the compass. Actually, I used the compass to make the flower as well. Those instructions are in the blog post. If you haven't been to the We All Sew blog, there is all kinds of wonderful things. I did not do as much work on this side as they did. They used the cover stitch as well as the chain stitch. And then you just go to your button box and find a nice button.
All right. Any other questions, folks? Just look at the feet again.
Let me pull out the C23 here. Now for the there's the C23.
So we have the 23.
The 27. The 27 is just a clear version of the number 11.
And which is right here.
No, that's the 13.
Oh, 13, sorry.
This is the 11.
There it goes. Yeah. Oh.
The C13 and the C11 come with the machine, The C23 and the C27 are extra purchases, but they are worth every penny.
I believe they're the foot of the month.
The C23 is the C23 and L23 are the foot of the month.
Yep. So 25% off if you want to come in and get one.
And we have them.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't look like we have any other questions, though.
Okay.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Well, it's a very simple project. I will tell you that it took me a good 10 extra pieces to work out the details. So cut yourself a couple extras. It may not take you 10. I was being a little finickier than maybe most people would be, but a little practice helps a lot.
Let's see here. Oh, here we got one. Oh no, just some comments.
Okay.
I guess we're all set. I don't know.
Okay.
Any other closing comments?
No, just the big book, and we got that.
Yep. Again, that's buy one get one 50% off till the end of August. We do have a few artistic artifacts announcements. We still have space for the lecture with Seth Apter, which will be the weekend of September 9th. Please check out our website to sign up.
I think it's Friday the 8th.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Friday the 8th, and then, but
then his classes are that weekend.
then he's got 2 classes, yeah. So you can get on the wait list for those. I believe they are sold out, but you never know what's going to happen. We do also have a few spaces left for the trip to Italy the second week. If you guys want a spontaneous getaway to go see some really cool Italian culture and arts, please join us. That'll be a lot of fun. You get to hang out with me and Judy and a bunch of other amazing members of our community as we tour and take classes and drink a lot of wine, eat a lot of pasta.
Have a good time.
Yeah, have a good time, exactly. And also check out the save the date for our handmade market, the weekend of October 14th. It's a few months out, but put it on your calendars now so you don't forget. And I think that's all we have.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Have a great weekend and a great day.
Have a lot of time playing.